Hello all, this is Scott Grove of GroovyMusicLessons.com here today with another guitar for you. Another Iceman from 1978, owned by Steve Miller. He was very famous for using these, and of course he was always kind enough to draw some art and do a signature and everything. But this here is the 1978 ICT-10. Or 210, I'm sorry. Also known way back in 1975. These were the first models made in the Artist series. These were the what were they? The 2663 was the model number of them back in 1975, and they still kept the 2663. And there are 3 variations of this, even back in 75, which I will let you know about. This one has a volume and a tone. 4-way control here. First position will be just the first, okay, so it's a triple coil pickup. It will be just this coil, and then using the middle one, which you can't hardly see, now you can. There's no pull pieces, but using it as a dummy coil in order to shut it up so it's nice and quiet. Best sounding part of the guitar, I think, is position number 1. Position 2 gives you the middle coil and this one, but not in a hum canceling mode. So it just gives you these 2 pickups on together with hum. Position 3 just goes all kinds of crazy. Overdrive the preamp big time, so it makes it like it'll overdrive your preamp tube, so it's kind of like having a built-in tube screamer. So it's all 3 pickups on, but in series instead of normal parallel. So the output is almost doubled. Okay, so it's just a pickup from hell that will overdrive any tube amp. Position 4 finally is all 3 pickups in parallel, so it's nice and quiet, and probably the quietest setting on here as far as volume goes. Okay, so that's the way that goes. Show you around mahogany body. You got the maple neck, rosewood fingerboard, the split nut, which is always nice, part brass, then part bone. On the back you get your serial number, E, A, B, C, D, E, makes it June of 78. E is the 6th letter in the alphabet, June is the 6th month. That's how you figure that out. Next 2 numbers, 78, 1978. The 2663s were made in 1975, not in 76, but then again in 77, 78, and 79. If I remember right, there were 68 of these, possibly 74. I had to go back and look. And then like 40 some in 79, then they quit doing them. Okay, the other versions, which I'll show you in a sec, well, I'll just tell you about it. They made one with a humbucker that looked like this without the middle coil. One here and one here. And then they made the exact same one, the 2663 SL, which put it on a sliding mechanism exactly like the Gibson grabber bass would. So you could take the whole pickup and slide it wherever you wanted it. And they said it went by the wayside because people found it to be more of a novelty than a tonal thing. It's like, good God, people don't know anything. So the position here, pickup, is huge. You know, even a 1/4 inch one way or another in your sound. So I'll gladly get the SL version where it's a sliding pickup. So I'm trying to gather them all as I guess. It's starting to look like it. Again, if you want to get a look at the signature, there it is, and some kind of leafy artwork. Okay, so this was one of Steve's. What else about the guitar? Nothing, just the binding held up great for a 78. No cracking. There's a little bit. Let me hit the lights over here so you can see condition. I'm not finding my lights. They're always bugging me. There they are. So it's got some, it's been played. The boy played the guitar. Oh, and it does not have the original strap buttons. It's got the shallower locking buttons on it for whatever reason. Okay, and even after being cleaned up, there's some pitting, there's some dirt, so it's going to be there. The parallelograms with the pearloid inlays, nothing of real use, so it's kind of like a Les Paul standard would use. Okay, the original hard shell case, the IC 78 IC 210 Steve Miller here, and it's still got it on the good old rock and roll duct tape. I don't know if anybody likes to see the inside of old cases or not, but if you do, here's the case, the old green meanie weenie. Okay, so there's what they were like in the 78. Okay, got all your hanger tags and all that crap over here. What we do have is what ended up being the Steve Miller model of this, which was not available to us, but Steve had it for a little bit. Then he went to the regular artist model, which was the double cutaway Les Paul looking thing, and then they actually called that a Steve Miller model. But he did the same thing with this, and then he, on my other Modulus Telecaster I bought from Steve, he had all the same electronics, active electronics, lows, mids, highs, and all that stuff. But when he did his original one, to change this one up, you know, the old tail pieces that were available, they were mandatory, they were just on every guitar of these 26 63s, big old honking things. In 1975 they had those on there, and in 77 they were there. They took them off in 78, and then they ended everything in 79. So at one point he went ahead and added that turned on and off the onboard preamp, that turns on and off the equalizer, low, mids, highs, volume, master tone, and still the same switch we have here. Okay, so that's exactly what he put on his regular Steve Miller model later. But he toyed around with this and came up with this also on one of his others, and that's that. So he messed around with these 210s for a while until he found what he was looking for, and he decided that this triple coil pickup isn't what he was looking for after recording the entire Fly Like an Eagle album with it. And then the very next album to come, I can't remember the name of it right now, but and then he went over to the artist series and just put the same electronics I just showed you in it, and that became the Steve Miller model instead of this. But a lot of people still, of course, associate Steve Miller with this because all the songs that we know and love were recorded on this. Okay, so let's check out the sounds. I will leave the compressor off for just a moment and just show you right through the old guitar. Right now it's position 1, this coil here. Let me change the camera angle like I always have to do. Okay, and up a little bit. Okay, so here we go with just this one coil here. Okay, so you have that sound. Again, number 2 is the middle and the bridge. Next one is all 3 of them in series, which drives everything. How's that for heavy duty? So you got the so that's where that came from. It's like automatic tube screamer with no pedals, no batteries needed, no nothing. So that's where the sound from that song came from, or the pickups in series that gave the signature sound for the Fly Like an Eagle album. Okay, now let's go to all three coils in parallel, which is quiet. Okay, so very nice and quiet there. Just a cool old vintage axe. Okay, I'll throw the compressor on just for fun. Go to my favorite sound again. First position. Okay. Give my volume a little more balls. Just turn the amp up. Oh, there we go. Position 2 again with the compressor, just for fun. The major overdrive with all three in series. Actually, my compressor is holding some of that back now, so you hear both ways. And finally the last one with everything, all three in parallel. Okay, now I'll go back to just turning off the distortion. Back to position 1 with straight distortion. Position 2, which again is the middle one, and the bridge position. All three of them in parallel, series. Okay, it's got some nice. No matter where you want to go, it's a lively guitar with the pinch stuff. All three of them in the weak position, but it's just all three coils in parallel. And yes, you'll hear microphonics on that setting. But you won't if you go one setting back. Okay. So that's the bad boy for the distortion setting. Okay, so there you go. The 1978 one of Steve Miller's old axes, signed up and groovy. Again, the 2663 and the antique antique violin finish, or sunburst. Antique violin is what they actually call it. It's the only color these came in. They didn't come in any other colors. All three versions of it. Again, made in 1975, nothing in 76 with this one. 77 saw the last year for the big tailpiece. 78 right here, then 79 they made 40 some of them, then they were gone. Okay, so one of the most impossible axes to find in really good shape, especially coming from and belonging to and recorded with blah blah blah, stage played. Good old vintage axe from Steve Miller. So that makes it extra special. Just because he and Paul Stanley were the big Iceman guys back at this time. So they're the only two getting all the credit for playing this shape of guitar. And then, like I said, Steve moved quickly onto the double cutaway, double Les Paul cutaway looking Artist series, which you all saw later. But again, Fly Like an Eagle album, and the one after that, every song you've heard from that album and the next one was played on one of these or this. It might have been this. It could have very well been, though. The other one with the electronics, though those electronics didn't come out till later, so I think they might have just did that one I showed you in the picture, so he would have one like that, because later on, after he did his Artist series, after the whole Iceman thing, I think they went back and put the same electronics in one of those to just make it groovy, with the active electronics. But anyway, so I'll try to shut up. And yeah, great axe. Proud to own it and stick it up here in the ever-growing wall of PS10s and Iceman that are collecting up here. So that's it. I'll move back here. Okay, so once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com. Drop by, check out all the guitar reviews I've done, whole bunch of them, and grab some free lessons, grab some paid lessons, grab a bunch of knowledge that you probably never knew, or things that will piss you off because I'm right about them but you don't want me to be. And again, to check out just cool reviews and stuff on axes, and you can go check out the other Steve Miller thing. It was a modulus guitar, so all the reviews are done by brand names. So when you go to look up my instrument reviews, if you want to see all the Ibanez reviews, you can see them all. They're all right there, laid out, so you don't have to sift through 600 and some odd videos here on YouTube. Okay, so you guys have a groovy one, play loud, and oh, don't forget how Dairy Queen got pregnant. It's because Burger King forgot to wrap his Whopper. I don't know why I thought of that. I know, lame. Don't quit my day job. Talk to you later. Bye, kids.